Welcome to the Westcott Crochet channel and welcome to this leafy fringe cardigan. If you like this one, send a message to YouTube by tapping the thumbs up button. If you want to see more projects, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. You can now also follow me on Instagram, where I try and post a sneaky peek at upcoming tutorials. I always love a bit of fringe, but it is of course completely optional. Any yarn recommending a 4mm hook will create a similar result. I used the recommended 4mm. I also used a tape measure, a couple of stitch markers and a yarn needle to weave in my ends. Today I'm going to be working with this gorgeous leaf pattern. It works up in repeats of 6 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 row repeat, and it requires a multiple of 10 stitches plus 1 extra stitch. This is my back panel I've already worked up. I'm going to show you how to work the pattern on a smaller scale, so with the front panel. For the back panel, you measure all the way around the widest part of the body, divide that measurement by 5, take that answer and multiply it by 3, and that gives you the width that you need for the back panel. So I then chain as closely as I can to that measurement, and I just make sure that I have a multiple of 10 chains plus 1. The front panels, there'll be 2 of those, and they are 1/3 the width of this back panel. So essentially it's all the way around the width of my body, divided by 5, that's the front panel. So it's 1/3 the width of this back. So for me, 1/3 of my 81 stitch back panel would be 27. So I'm actually going to round it up to 31. I need to make 31 chains. I'm working with the 4mm hook that my yarn recommends. Start with a slip knot. I'm going to make for my front panel 31 chains. I have 31 chains. I'm going to start by working a double crochet into the first chain, and I do that by working a standing double crochet. I pull up my loop to the height of a double crochet. Because I'm starting from a start chain, I'm just going to give my loop a twist, and then it gives it that natural twist that I'd normally get by changing direction at the end of a row. Wrap my loop around my hook to form a loop. Keep my finger planted firmly on that loop so it can't move. I go in through the stitch with my hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops. I can let go now. Yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. I'm just going to replay that again just to show you again how that works in case you missed it. I pull up my loop to the height of a double crochet. Because I'm starting from a start chain, I'm just going to give my loop a twist, and then it gives it that natural twist that I'd normally get by changing direction at the end of a row. Wrap my loop around my hook to form a loop. Keep my finger planted firmly on that loop so it can't move. I go in through the stitch with my hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops. I can let go now. Yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. If you really can't get to grips with that standing double crochet, then by all means just chain an extra 2 at the end of your start chain, and the first 3 chains then count as your first double. It is a bit easier if you can because it looks better, and also further up this repeat pattern we start the row with a decrease into the first 2 stitches, so it makes that a little bit more easier to work. So from here, first double crochet into the second chain, I'm going to make a standard double crochet. So yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through a loop, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through the last 2, standard double crochet. To the next chain, I'm going to make another one. So that's 3 to start. Next, I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to skip 2 chains into the third chain, make a double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 2, skip 2 chains, into the next 5 chains I'm going to make 5 double crochets. Then I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to skip 2 chains. Into the 3rd chain, I'm going to make a double crochet. And that's the thing the whole way along this first row. Chain 2, make 5 more after I've skipped 2 on the chain. Chain 2, skip 2, make 1. Chain 2, skip 2, make 5. All the way along until you get to the end of your chain, where you should be left with 3 chains to make 3 double crochets to match the start. So that's row 1. Starting with 3, space of 2, chaining 2, 1, chain 2, space 2, 5, chain 2, leave 2, 1, and so on, and end with 3 at the end. So for row 2, I'm going to start again with a standing double, so no chaining at the end. If you're working a chain 3, then you chain 3. So standing double for me. And then the next 2 stitches I'm going to work together as a decrease. So yarn over for the first double, insert my hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then I yarn over for the second, insert into that stitch, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. And I've got 3 loops on my hook, and I've got 2 half finished double crochets. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and that finishes the last 2 stitches and makes it into 1. So now I've gone from 3 to 2 at the top. I know there's 3 posts, but there's just 2 stitch tops. Then I chain 2, and I've just worked a decrease into this leaf. I'm going to work an increase into this one. So I'm going to work 3 double crochets into the top of this double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 2. I've just worked an increase, so I'm going to work a decrease into the next leaf. First 2 stitches together as one. The middle stitch gets a stitch all of its own. The last 2 work together as a decrease to form one again. So I've got 5 posts, but I've now got 3 stitches. It's 1, 2, 3. Chain 2. And again, I'm working 3 on top of the post to turn 1 into 3. Chaining 2, decrease, stitch on its own, decrease into the last 2 to the end of the row. So to end row 2, I decrease into the last 2, finish one off on its own. And it's starting to take shape now. So on to row 3. I start by decreasing the 2 stitches. If you're working a chain start, you're going to need to chain 2 and then work the double. And that's as close as you're going to get. That's your single stitch. I'm going to work the starting double, standing double. Set up with my yarn, rounding in through the stitch, pull through a loop, pull through 2 loops, stop there, through the next one, and pull through all 3 to work that 2 stitches into 1. Chain 2, just performed a decrease, need to do an increase on the next leaf, increase at the start, stitch in the middle, increase at the end. So 2, 1 and 2. There we go. Chain 2. So now we're on for a decrease. I'm going to work 3 stitches into 1. So yarn over for the first one, insert my hook, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over for the second one, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over in for the third one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Now I've got 4 loops on my hook and 3 stitches half completed. Pull through all 4 loops, and now those 3 are just 1. Chain 2, and again I'm onto an increase, so 2, 1, 2, work the 3 together for the decrease after the chain 2, increase, and so on. So for the last 2, work them together for the decrease and form 1. And that's the end of row 3. For row 4, there's actually just 1 stitch in every stitch with a chain 2 between each leaf. So here we have 1 stitch, top of the last one that we've made into 1, chain 2, work 5 stitches, chain 2, 1, chain 2, 5, chain 2, 1, chain 2, 5. So turning around, start with the standing double on top of my last stitch. And the chain 2. And then just 5 doubles on top of these 5 doubles. Chain 2 and 1 in the centre. If you get to here and you're not sure which stitch to work on top of, you can see there's a stack of 1, 2, 3, 4 loops. That's where you are. That's your last stitch. So that's where it goes. It looks off centre at this point, but as the pattern works up, it sort of straightens itself out. So don't stress on that. So 2 chains, 5 double crochets, 2 chains, 1 double crochet, 2 chains, 5 double crochet, till you get to the end, where you should end up with 1. On to row 5. I've worked my way all the way down from 3 to 1, so I need to work back up again now. So I'm going to start with 2 on top of this single stitch. Chain 2. I've got 5 now here. I'm going to start reducing back down, starting with the first 2 together as 1. One on its own, last 2 together. Chain 2. 1 is increased to 3. So 3 in the top of this one stitch. Don't worry about the separation, it does all pull together eventually. Chain 2, 5 become 3. Okay, so again, work 2 together, 1 on its own, 2 together to reduce this next leaf back down. And chain 2, 3 in the top, and repeat. So that one goes down to 3, 2 together, 1 on its own, 2 together, and end on 2 at the end, same way as I started. So that's the end of row 5. On to row 6. I now have 2 at the start. I'm going to turn that into 3. First one is on its own, 2 on top of the second one. Chain 2, reducing the next one, so 3 become 1. Chain 2, increasing the next one, 2 in the first, 1 in the centre, 2 in the last one. So increase, reduce, increase. So the next one's reduce, and so on. Increase, reduce, increase to 2. So 2, sorry, becomes 3 at the end. And that's row 6, the end of. From here, it's a repeat of the last 6 rows. So I'll turn and work 3, chain 2, work 1, chain 2, work 5, chain 2, 1, all above. So whatever happens down here happens up here, and then just copy each row over and over until you get the length that you need. I have my 3 panels. Now I just need to join at the shoulders. So I have my back panel with the side that I prefer facing upwards. I have my front panel, the side that I prefer facing down, so the good sides are touching each other. And the top is the row I've just finished in both instances. I've still got my yarn attached from when I finished the front panel here, so if you haven't, just put on a slip knot. I'm going to work from the outside in. So once I've sorted out all of my ends and my loops, there we go. So I chained 1 at the end of the panel. Obviously, if you've chained 1 and cut, that's irrelevant. In through the first stitch on the front, in through the first stitch on the back, yarn over, and single crochet. Same in each stitch all the way across. So both stitches, both loops, and single crochet. I'm going to get to a point where I've got a gap. I'm just going to go through 2 loops carefully on both sides. Bit of a faff, but there's not many of them. There we go. And again, just single crochet. So that's what I'm going to do all the way across till I get to the center, matching stitch for stitch until I have no stitches left. That's the first seam. So it looks like on the right side. Over to the other side, I've gone in on the corner stitches, both sides, add on a slip knot, pull it through, chain one, and tighten that up. And then again, work all the way along, one stitch in each, and single crochet the seam. Okay, so onto a sleeve. I'm going to be working the sleeve directly onto the back and front panel, but flat, and then it'll be folded and seamed up on the underside. So I've marked out just on this front panel where I want my sleeve to start. For me, it's about 23 centimetres down from the centre seam, from the shoulder seam. And I'd obviously then work in the same distance down the back seam for the other half of the sleeve. What I need to make sure is that I have enough stitches to continue the pattern, so it needs to be a multiple of 10 plus 1. My plus 1 is going to be on the centre seam, the shoulder seam, so that's taken care of. I just need to make sure now that from the bottom, where I've marked out the bottom of my sleeve, 23 centimetres down, to 23 centimetres down the back, has the right amount of stitches, so it needs to be a multiple of 10. I'm going to put 2 stitches, 2 single crochet at the end of each row. So for me, where I've marked out roughly, it will be 34 stitches up to the centre shoulder seam. So that means I've got 34 down the other side, so that's 68. So I'm 2 short. So I need to start just 1 stitch down from where I'd estimated. I'm going to put a stitch here on its own, and then 2 in every row, so that I've got 35 up to the shoulder, 1 in the shoulder, 35 down the other side, and that gives me 71 stitches to continue the pattern and work my sleeve outwards. So to get started, this is where I'd marked, so I know I need to be 1 extra stitch in. So I'm inserting my hook into the centre of the row before, into the end of that double crochet that ends the row, on with a slip knot, pull through, chain 1 to secure. I'm just going to position myself so I'm facing the right direction. So working up towards the shoulder seam. I can get rid of that, that's surplus now. So I'm going to put 1 stitch where I've just joined. So 1 single crochet into that row end. And then into the centre of each row thereafter, I'm going to put 2. So that was that row, so here's the next one. Aim for the centre. Try and pick up a couple of loops each time and just put 2. Same spot is fine. Next row end, couple of loops in the centre of the stitch, 2 single crochets. Next row, same thing. Grab a few loops in the centre, 2 single crochets. So I'll work like that all the way up to the centre seam, the shoulder seam, which I've lost. There it is. I'll put 1 in the shoulder seam and continue on 2, 2, 2, 2 all the way down until I've got my 71, sorry, including the shoulder. Okay, I now have my 71 single crochet stitches all the way along where I'm going to work the sleeve. So this is the front, up to the shoulder, down the back. So now I start the pattern again and work a sleeve. So starting right from the first stitch, 3 double crochets in a row, not in the same stitch of course, 1 in each, 1, 2 and number 3. Chain 2, skip 2, 1, double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, 5 double crochet, and from there chain 2, skip 2, 1 double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, 5 double crochet, all the way to my 71st stitch, where I'll be ending with 3 double crochets in the last 3 stitches. So that's 5, and just keep building out from there with the pattern as we previously have been working. Just pop back after row 1 just to show you what it looks like we're working outwards now. So the length of the sleeve will be working out from the body and then be folded in half and seamed up on this inside edge under the arm. So I hope that makes sense. All will become clear once I've worked the length of the sleeve, if not. That's the length of my sleeve worked. I went up to the elbow, this is the end, just working out from the body section. So it's inside out currently and it will be seamed up along here. In fact, along here and all the way down the side. So starting from the end of the sleeve. To seam up the sleeve, I'm just going to go in through the corner stitch on each side and pull through a slip knot. Just pull that tight. Okay, I'm going to seam all the way along, as I said, the underside of the arm and then down the side of the cardigan in one go. So I'm going to put 2 stitches onto each double crochet end row. So I'm going to aim for the middle, just go through both sides, somewhere along the center of the stitch. And I'm going to pull through a slip stitch. Then I'm going to go for the end and slip stitch. Again, aiming for the middle of the next row. And for the end. Doesn't have to be exact, it's just so you're spacing them out kind of evenly. I'm going to do that all the way, as I say, all the way along the sleeve, all the way along the 2 sides. Making sure I don't pull my slip stitches too tight, because otherwise it will curve in. We're back when I've joined it all up. That's the seam worked all the way on the underside of the arm and then followed on down the side. Next job is to work a trim all the way around the inside edge of the cardigan, up the back there and down the other side. I'm going to start with the bottom corner down here. So I'm here at the bottom corner. I'm in through the very corner stitch, the bottom of the corner stitch, on with a slip knot, pull it through, chain to secure. First round, I'm going to go all the way around the edge, working the ends of these double crochets, or the sides of these double crochets. I'm just going to put 2 stitches, single crochets in each double crochet. So in through the center roughly, make 1, in through the same spot, make 2. Next one is the next row. There's 1, same spot, 2. So I'm just weaving a tail in while I do that. Next one. Oops. Just poke your way in there. Next one, 2. So I'll do that the whole way up, 2 in each, all the way up across the back where I have stitches. So I should work 1 in each stitch across the back, and then down the side, 2 in each double crochet. I've worked all the way around, 2 stitches at the end of each, or in the side of each double crochet, 1 stitch in each stitch along the top. I'm now going to go back the other way, and I'm going to keep going around and around, probably 6 times. Not sure yet, but I'll let you know when I come back. So just 1 stitch in each, the stitches I've just made, 6 times at least. I ended up adding 11 rows on the trim, including that initial edging row. So obviously add as many or as few as makes you happy. In addition to that, I've also been busy with the fringe. I've got this cotton yarn. I can't remember where it came from, but here it is. It's got about 9 different strands, 9 ply. I had to count up. So it's really good for fringe, because it just then is all quite fringy, for want of a better term. So I knew that I wanted my fringe to be about 20 centimetres in length. So I've got a book that's 20 centimetres, I think about 22. So I take my yarn, I just leave a little bit over the edge so that it's meeting in the centre, and just wrap it around and around and around many times, meeting up at the bottom here. Then I'm just going to cut, when I find my scissors, I've walked off again, just cut the bottom here, and that leaves me with lots and lots of strands of equal length. I'm attaching my strands 3 at a time. That's as much, it will be folded in half ultimately, and that's how much I wanted it to be, how thick I wanted it to be. So I'm going to go into these holes with 1 each, and then on the solid section into the 2nd, into the 4th, and then back to holes again. That's where I'm going to add mine in. So to start with, into a hole, so I just put my hook through. This is right side out, the top is facing me. Hook comes through inside to out. Pull this through for a loop, and at this point I want to make sure my ends are all kind of aligned. So just line them up. Oops. And then just give this a little tug at the other end and make sure we're more or less the same length. I feed that through the loop and pull it down. And then you just want to give it a little bit of a fidget to put it in the right place. And that's number 1. I think I've got about 120 of these to do. So same deal in through the solid section. So I go in through the stitch. This time, as I say, stitch number 2 and stitch number 4 for me. Pull through. Just pull that through a little bit more. Straighten up my ends. And feed it through. And just gently pull it tight. I'm going to do that all the way around the sleeve, all the way around the bottom. Then I'm done. If you do all of that, you'll have yourself one of these. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. A huge thank you to those who already have, and to everyone, thank you for watching today.